Welcome to Finance Deep Dive. The United States government officially holds the largest gold reserve in the entire world, a massive treasure that's been locked away from public view for decades. But what if it's all just an illusion? Today, we're diving into one of the biggest, most persistent mysteries in all of finance.
So let's just get right to it. What if America's $600 billion gold reserve isn't actually there? Really think about that for a second. It's a question that could literally shatter the global economy. So let's ask it plainly. Is the gold really there? The official number is staggering. We're talking about over 8,100 metric tons of pure gold. Most of it is supposedly sitting in the legendary vaults of Fort Knox, with the rest spread out between mints in Denver and West Point. It's an almost unimaginable amount of wealth.
Okay, but here's where the story takes a really weird turn. On the official books, the government values all that gold at just $42.22 an ounce. That's a price that hasn't changed since the 1970s. Why on earth would they use such a bizarrely low number? Well, answering that question opens up a whole can of worms. So, how did America get all this gold in the first place? We didn't just stumble upon it. It's actually a fascinating story of crisis, global power plays, and a complete shift in how the world thinks about money. It all really boils down to three key moments. Back in 1933, FDR basically forced American citizens to turn in their private gold. Then, in 44, the Bretton Woods Agreement pegged the US dollar to that gold, making it the center of the financial universe. But then, and this is the crucial part, in 1971, Nixon slammed the gold window shut, severing the link and basically locking the treasure away from the monetary system for good.
And that move by Nixon leads us right to the heart of this accounting mystery, this massive, massive disconnect between what the government says the gold is worth on paper and what you and I know it's worth in the real world.
Get a load of this. On the books, the official value is a measly $11 billion. But its actual market value today? It's well over $600 billion. Think of it this way. It's like the Treasury owns a giant mansion, but the Federal Reserve is holding a deed for it that's valued based on prices from 50 years ago. It just makes no sense. And here's the key takeaway you need to understand. The Federal Reserve doesn't actually own the physical gold. Nope. It just holds this thing called a gold certificate, which is basically just an IOU from the Treasury that's stuck at that $11 billion number while the real gold's value has shot to the moon. So you've got this bizarre accounting, this intense secrecy. You can probably guess what comes next. Decades of wild theories and rumors. So let's explore that question. What if the vaults at Fort Knox really are empty? Here's what the skeptics are saying. The theories pretty much fall into three main camps. The first is that the gold was secretly sold off or loaned out years ago. The second is that, sure, the gold is there, but it actually belongs to other countries that are storing it with the US. And then there's the most explosive theory of them all, that the gold bars have been replaced with fakes. And listen, this isn't just some fringe internet conspiracy. Former Congressman Ron Paul publicly brought this up. He asked if the bars in Fort Knox could just be gold-plated tungsten. And why tungsten? Because it has almost the exact same density as gold, making it the perfect material for a counterfeit bar. Hey, if you're liking this content and finding this whole mystery as fascinating as I do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It honestly motivates us to keep digging into stories like this. Okay, so if these rumors are so persistent, you're probably wondering, why not just do a full, open, transparent audit and put all this to rest? Well, that's a great question. The history of attempts to actually verify the gold is, well, it's not very reassuring. These so-called audits have been pretty pathetic, honestly. Over the last 70 years, what have we gotten? A quick peek here, a staged photo up there, a partial count that took 6 years, and most recently, a secret visit. You can hardly call any of that a thorough inspection. To put that into perspective, it's like this. Imagine you're hired to count a huge stack of cash. You count all the bills, but you only check to see if the top few are actually real. That's basically what happened with the last major audit effort. They only bothered to verify the serial numbers on a tiny fraction of the bars. So after all the secrecy, all the strange accounting, and all these half-hearted audits, we're left right back where we started. If nobody has actually properly and transparently counted it in decades, how can we be sure the gold is still there? Now look, this isn't just some fun thought experiment or conspiracy theory to debate online. The existence or non-existence of this gold has absolutely monumental implications for the US dollar, and frankly, the entire global financial system.
So what would actually happen if it came out that the gold is gone? We're not just talking about a number on a spreadsheet. It could trigger a global panic, a complete collapse of faith in the US dollar, and lead to uncontrollable hyperinflation. The stakes just couldn't be any higher. But in the end, you don't even have to believe in a grand conspiracy. The real, fundamental issue here is the profound, almost unbelievable lack of transparency. The official refusal to just conduct a full public audit is what fuels every single theory and every single doubt. And so we are left with one final, dead simple question. It's a binary choice, right? The 8,100 tons of gold are either sitting in those vaults or they are not. If everything is fine and the gold is there, why all the secrecy? Why won't they just show us? For now, it seems the answer to that question remains locked away. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep dives into the biggest mysteries in finance, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We'll see you next time.